Hello, everyone. This is our last lab about radioactivity. And I have a little video where I was trying to show you how everything's supposed to work, but I didn't do the lab actually, because I didn't have time over there. So I'm using someone's data, and that's not a student data, that's extractor data. And you will need just to do some calculations. Some time ago, I was asked on how to build graphs in Excel and how to work with Excel. So in this lab, I'm planning to teach you a little bit about Excel and how to deal with tables in Excel. If you wish, you can use this and do the lab in Excel and just turn it in like Excel file. Or if you don't like Excel, you can do all the lab using just your calculator and do all the graphs just using graph paper. That's kind of, whatever you like to do. For those people who are interested in Excel, I just copied all the tables from my Word file from Canvas over here in Excel. How do we copy it? Click on a table, see that table is highlighted, and then put Ctrl-V to copy, Ctrl-C to copy it, and then go to Excel, just click on the first cell and put Ctrl-V, and table is going to be copied from my Word file into Excel. I did this like 3 times, and there are 3 tables. First, I'm going to teach you how to work with first table. For the first table, we will need to calculate counting rates. Right now, we have counts per minute, means that it's per 60 seconds. But we'll need to calculate counts per second. How to do this? Well, you can take a calculator and divide 30 over 60. But if you have more than 3 numbers, if you have like 20 numbers, it's going to be pretty long work. What we are going to do, I'm going to teach you how to use formulas in Excel to actually calculate it just in one click. So if you want to do something with previous cells, which you already filled with numbers, you are going to put equal sign and use a formula. For example, formula is going to be use this cell and divide it by 60. And that's going to be the formula, how we make up the information in this cell. Now, instead of entering the formula for 2 other cells, I'm going to just click over here in the corner and stretch the cell down 2 more cells. And the information about cells is going to be inside already. If you click on the cell, you are going to see that we are dividing by 60, and that's C7. C is number, the letter over here, and 7 is number over here. So we are dividing by 60, actually 32. Well, number over here does not look very nice to me, too many numbers, too many digits. How do we kind of decrease the amount of digits? Click on right, make a right click on the cell. Open window, which is allowing you to format cells. Right click. Your cell is filled with a number, so choose number over here. Now you can tell Excel how many decimal you wanna keep after decimal point. I wanna keep 1 or 2. Well, 2 is okay too, right? So now you see that my number actually looks much nicer. I'm not gonna repeat it. Second cell, I'm just going to stretch it. Now I'm almost done with first table, and what I'll need to do, I'll need to calculate averages for counts per 60 seconds and counting rate. What I'm going to do, guys, one more formula, very useful actually. Normally what I do to calculate average, I add up 3 numbers, divide by 3, right? Instead of manually adding them, I'm going to put sum, which is addition, right? Then I'm going to highlight the cells I want to add, and then I'm going to close parentheses. That's going to sum up all 3 numbers. Now I'll need to divide by 3, and I'm going to enter divide by 3, and that's my average. Now I'm going to repeat the formula over here. Well, instead of kind of writing down the formula a second time, I'm going to stretch actually the cell over here, and that's going to be my number. It's going to be 0.52. By the way, I changed a little bit numbers from my Word file, so you are not going to copy my numbers, but do your own numbers. So these numbers are not the same with Word file. I changed them a little bit here and there. Okay, I'm going to round it up to 0.52, and that's going to be my average counting rate for background, right? Remember, natural background. What I'm going to do, I'm going to enter it over here, 0.52. Okay, now Table 2. For table 2, I'll need to do same operation, counting rate per second. So I'm going to click on the cell, put equal sign, choose this cell, and divide it over 60, enter. And I'm going to stretch this to all the cells over here. You see? So I'm getting actually like counting rate per second. How many counts I have per second. Now, next cell is subtract background from the rates per second. We want to know how much radiation goes from the sample, not like from the sample plus background. The Geiger's counter does not know like how to separate it. It's going to count everything, background plus the sample. Here we are going to separate them. So how I'm going to separate them? Well, I know that background is 0.52. So I'll need to basically subtract this number from all the numbers over here. And I'm going to, again, use the formula. I'm going to put equal sign. I'm subtracting from this cell, subtraction, and I'm subtracting this number. I'm not going to copy the cell because Excel is going to then, when I stretch it, copy the next cell, and next cell. I'm just going to copy the number actually, 0.52, and enter it. Why it doesn't work? Let me see. I actually don't know. It's supposed to actually work. Why it does not work? Maybe I just pressed something wrong, or the number is too big. I don't know. Yeah, the number is too big. That's why I could not see it. Okay, I don't like to have numbers that big, so I'm going to do format cells and kind of keep 2 digits after decimal point. I think it's going to be good enough. Okay. Now, number is looking much nicer. So I'm going to stretch it. And that's going to give me just rate minus background. That's rate of a sample. The last operation I want to do is to find a ln, because we are supposed to graph 2 graphs for this table, graph of rate versus distance and graph of logarithm, common logarithm with base 10 of the rate. So how I'm going to do it? Again, use the formula. I'm going to put equal sign here, log 10, parenthesis. I'm going to click on the cell. That's going to be my argument. And then I'm going to close parentheses. That's going to be a logarithm. And again, I'm going to stretch it down. Well, I have some negative logarithms. When they happen, well, we'll need to raise 10 to the negative power to get 0.48, because 0.48 is much smaller than 10. So it's negative power of 10. Okay, so now we fill the table, and I'm going to show you how to do the graphs. What I'm going to do, guys, first, I'm going to highlight all my cells over here, and I'm going to insert a chart. I'm going to insert a scatter chart. Well, actually, Excel is going to try graph column number 2, 3, 4, and 5 versus column number 1. I really don't need all of them, right? So I'm going to click on my graph and select data. For the first graph, I actually want only like what? I actually need only column number 4, right? So I'm going to remove this one, which is series 1, and this one, which is series 2 from the graph. And I'm going to remove the last column from the graph too. And basically, I'm going to just see the graph of rate background. You see it's 27.81, around 27.81. And that's going to see over here. I'm going to see it over here. You can manage chart tile, write down that that's a background rate, click on it and write down over here. Sorry, background, no, that's not background rate, right? That's just the rate. Rate minus background. Delete the rest. Well, I think that's going to be enough for the graph. You can also use over here, like write down what is on this axis and what is on this axis. Let's click on the graph. You see the plus over here. Click on the plus, and the plus is going to say axis titles. Axis titles are going to allow you to name the axis. I'm going to name only x-axis. You can name both of them. For x-axis, what do we have? X-axis is distance, right? So you got this R. You can put also units, centimeters, and that's going to be the perfect graph. You don't need actually series 3, so you can just delete it, and that's a perfect graph, right? You can put this graph somewhere. Sorry, I'm moving background instead of the whole graph. Somewhere here, maybe lower, maybe upper, and move to the second graph. For the second graph, you basically need to do the same, just instead of the column number 4, graph column number 5, versus the same first distance column. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert one more graph and remove columns series 1, 2, and 3 from it. So insert, and again, charts. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to choose the same one. Okay, now where can I see it? I don't see the chart somehow. I see, maybe it's not inserted. Maybe it still thinks that I'm inserting the same chart. So it's strange. Okay, I'm going to redo the highlight. Maybe that's because I did not highlight that. That was the reason. I was considering old highlighting. Yay, it inserts the chart. That's a second chart. Well, for second chart, I'm going to go inside, right click, select data, and I'm going to unhighlight, uncheck series 1, 2, and 3. I'll need just the last column graph. Put OK over here. And that's my last column, almost a straight line. That's what we were supposed to see. Okay. You can change the chart tile. You can change what you have over here, add axis, and I put distance over here. Okay, I'm not going to fix it, but it's not supposed to be distance, it's distance. Okay. For the last table, you don't need to do any calculations here. You just need to graph it. So you just like highlight it, insert, charts. You can do this. And that's the whole graph. You will need to do, sorry, chart line. I should highlight that. Well, just put what is this. This is how radiation depends on number of shieldings. And that's basically all you need to do for this lab. So if you wish, you can use Excel and you can turn your lab as Excel file. Plus, I do have 5 questions which you can answer on a separate page and kind of, make another file, okay? Okay, that's all. And if you like it, well, use it. If you don't like it, okay, that's fine. You can still use calculator and graph paper. Everything is going to work same way. Okay, so I'm going to stop my recording and good luck.